Hello, it's me, Cartoon Fanatic here, and today I'll be talking about the Netflix original animated series Centaurworld. This is basically one of the first shows that are one of the first shows that is produced by Netflix Animation. Basically this new division of Netflix where they set up an animation studio of their own, and and uh, and they have a bunch of people, well-known creators working there, long-time creators like Craig McCracken with Kid Cosmic, which is a really good show. You really should watch it. It's really good, really enjoyable, really fun, great art style, just a great superhero story. It's in a great format. Just watch it, and Jorge, I can't pronounce it. Can't fully pronounce the name, but the person who made El Tigre and the Book of Life is working there, with his upcoming miniseries Maya and the Free, which does look to be a really interesting, fun show. Looking forward to that, and and then there's and then there's other people, like Alex Hirsch and Lauren Faust working there, and and yeah, a bunch of other people, and there are a lot of new people, new creatives working there. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm here to talk about Centaur World. So yeah, this came out in July, and I've been meaning to make a video about it for 2 months, over 2 months. I I've been busy with other stuff and haven't had the time to make a video, and yeah, I decided to just do it in a vlog form. So yeah, this show it basically focuses on it basically centers on a horse named, well, Horse, who is transported from the world that she lives in. Basically, basically she's transported from a world, and basically she lives in this, in basically our world, but there's apparently there's a bunch of creatures that live there that I mean, you really have to see it to believe it. And she's separated from her, basically her only friend and family. She's separated from a woman named Ryder, who's basically, her is basically her rider. So it's kind of a punny name. So yeah, she's transported to this world full of centaurs, and basically she has to find a bunch of magical items so she can get and so she can and get her and find a way home. And you know it's basically that, and she travels with with a group of centaurs to find these magical objects, whilst at the same time she learns, basically and she basically learns something as she goes through an arc and along the way. So yeah, that's basically the premise of the show. um Here's the thing. There's there's Okay, let's get the good stuff out of the way first. I will say that, I mean, the first things first, like, the actual animation and art is really good. It's really, really good. Like the actual, like the scenes in Horses World, at least at the start, really good. It looks really, really good. The design, it's very well designed. The action was great. It just looked, it looked absolutely fantastic. And 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 in the Centaur world, it like the backgrounds are really nicely detailed. Um, it has a really it has a really good aesthetic to it. Um, I like the creativity of the centaurs. I really do like that, and I mean that they're just not humans attached to horse, and they're basically different animals. And they basically found a lot of ways to. You really just have to see it to believe it. It it does have a lot of creativity in it, and the music I think is very good. I think a lot of it is it really is enjoyable, and I will say that Horse's journey throughout this thing, I think it was treated fine. I think that part of the story, I think it works for the most part. And and there are some other things, and I think a lot. I do like Wama Wink's character most of the time, maybe like 60-70% of the time. So there's that. And oh boy, let's get to the not so good. Um, Where do I even begin with this? Oh, 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 what oh, I, oh boy. This show has a real problem with tone. It has a real tonal problem. It is really bad with it. Like, really, really, really bad with it. Basically, there is well, um, every time there's a serious moment, a lot of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, they would intersect it with a joke, and a lot of these jokes are really not very funny. They're the type of humor that was present during seasons 3 and 4 of Star versus the Forces of Evil. And wouldn't you know it, that person, Dominic Bissing, a Bisignan, that you know who he is. He he was a part of especially especially season 3 and 4 of Star. He's basically the showrunner of this show, and guess what? A lot of those annoying parts of it is in the show, and oh, it's really not. It's just why just why you try to when there's a serious issue, when there's something that's serious, you don't intersect it with a bad joke. It's really annoying. Oh, and don't get me started on the fact, and another thing is that these stories, the actual story of the episode, a lot of this was present during episodes two to seven, because I will say that I liked the first episode. I think it definitely did a good job at introducing us to the world, and I think the last few episodes weren't that bad, even if they did have these problems that I just talked about and that I will talk about. I think they were softened up by that point, but that does not excuse that over half of the episodes just were plagued with these issues that were just so irritating. And another, like I was just gonna say, like the plots, the actual episodes themselves, they drag. They really, really, really drag. And do you know why they drag? Well, let me tell you why they drag. The other centaurs, I will. Like, here's the thing. Most of them, except for Derpleton, who is just flat annoying from beginning to end, weren't that bad. I will say Glemdale was funny at first, but like the other centaurs, they they really just repeated the same jokes over and over and over and over again. And the fact that they repeated those jokes just to drag out the plot. The plot is dragged out because the plot the plot is dragged out because they keep making the same jokes to just they stall the plot moves along, and then these centaurs make a joke, and then they make other jokes, and then it feels it really does drag. And oh my lord, like and then there's things like, basically there's things like I, like I'm sorry, I'm just really rambling at this point because it's so annoying. Like, in instead of making them, instead of having them make these, these dumb jokes, these really annoying, obnoxious jokes that they just repeat to the ground over and over again, you could actually spend time developing on these characters, on who they are. And they definitely did that with Wummerwink, but unfortunately they don't really follow up on it in a lot of the episodes. It seemed like they were going to follow up on it, and I don't I think the fact that they don't follow up on it in a lot of the next episodes, in the rest of the episodes. I mean, I think that was present like episode 3 or 4. I don't think that's like really good storytelling. I don't think you really should at least show some, not everything, but parts of it. It really seemed like something that was going to be really important, and then they drop it. It's just and and I would have forgiven this if the show just didn't. It has a serious pacing issue in a lot of the episodes, and like I said, it could have been done on developing, these characters, a lot of these characters, on why they're, why they're, why, like, and basically, like, I can't. It barely did anything on developing them. They just stay the same, and it's like, I think this is kind of a mess of a show that it had good intentions, but a lot of the episodes drag. And okay, here's a comparison. Imagine if in the Owl House, uh, you have episodes where, Luce and King are going on an adventure, and and basically, let's just say let's just say they bring along who uh, let's just say Hootie comes, um let's say they bring Hootie on a backpack, yeah, because in that one episode, I can't remember that a Hootie is apparently able to come out of the house, to apparently leave the house, and then, he's on he's able to go into a house of his own, and Lilith uses it as a backpack. Yeah, let's just say that. But every time, there's a new revelation in the episode, and as the plot moves along, Hootie just really, imagine if Hootie just he he just well, he just stalls the plot. Imagine if Hootie just stalled the plot and making these dumb jokes and these annoying jokes. Imagine that. Imagine if he did that for a minute. Imagine if he did that for every 3 minutes. Like, that wouldn't get annoying, would it? Would it? Yeah, that's what it feels like in the show. These Centaurs just really stole the plot with these annoying jokes. These things really should have been cut out of the episode because it just makes the episode, it just makes it a really obnoxious experience. Like these really bad jokes and these really stupid. Oh no! Don't get me started on Derpleton Fine because that is just absolutely just really juvenile. It's like it was just to entertain the kids. It's like why? It just really felt like it was just there just for kids to laugh at. It's really lowest common denominator humor when the show just seems like it's a lot better than this. It seems like the show just seems like it's a lot better off without this because it's really obnoxious.